Yeah, I'm not really sure where the different perceptions come from. It could be a cultural thing, or it could just be because men and women aren't the same, and women tend to place a high value on things like collaboration and consensus and community. And so when we gather, those are the things that we gravitate toward first, and we have to be reminded that not every environment needs to be a place where those things are top priority. So I think for women in particular, Bible study needs to be a place where we know community is going to happen and we love that, but that our primary purpose for gathering is that we would learn, and then we guard that. We make sure that the time that we're spending in the scriptures together doesn't devolve into a rabbit trail or into sharing our stories at the expense of being able to mine the treasures that are in the text. And we actually make Bible study a true learning environment, a place where we are striving for greater knowledge of the scriptures and thereby greater knowledge of God and thereby greater affection for Him. So we just have to make sure that we use the tool for what the tool is good at. It's great that women bring this communal thing to the church. It's great that women understand the value of vulnerability and of sharing, and we should have places where that happens, and it should always be an element of Bible study. But Bible study should be about more than gathering to feel the feels, or as I sometimes say, taking a dip in the estrogen pond. It needs to be a place where we come together soberly to consider truth from God's Word, and we allow ourselves room. This is another really important thing. Women have a hard time allowing themselves to hazard a guess or to give an answer to a question in a small group that they're not certain of. And so it needs to be a place where we can have honest dialogue and not worry so much about getting the right answer, but showing up and having a true discussion around the text in a way that is safe and that promotes understanding. So women leaders of Bible studies can take that into account as they're laying out what they want to do, and just keep in mind that we have to keep the first thing first when it comes to women's Bible study, knowing that community is going to happen and certainly doing nothing to prevent that, but also keeping the first focus on learning. The tricky thing about women's Bible study or women gathering to study the Bible or just a woman on her own studying the Bible is that most of us are primary caregivers for at least one other human being. And if you're not that, you have a job that's probably sucking the life out of you. We're all pulled in a lot of different directions. I always like to remind women, God is not unaware of your life stage. And so the important thing for us to do is to make a start, is to begin finding ways to learn the scriptures in a way that's building understanding. And so one of the things that has helped me, particularly in busy seasons of life, is to have structure and accountability. And that's provided by meeting in a group with some other women. So if you're finding yourself in a particularly busy stage of life, I'd encourage you to find some other women who you can meet with on a regular basis to help you be faithful to set aside time for it. We all have at least a little bit of discretionary time. Sometimes when you're a young mom or you're giving care to an elderly parent, it may be that you only have a few minutes here and there and you're using them to read repetitively or to paraphrase, do careful things to help you get close to the text just as you're able. But if you do have a little bit more time, I would encourage you to use it in community so that you have not just your time alone where you're in the scriptures, but also you have that shared dialogue around the truths and then an opportunity to sit under some teaching to help with your understanding as well.